I noticed, living here in the Philippines, I'm not even talking about safe distance, when it comes to COVID, right? We're talking about just like having like a sense of personal space, right? But now because of COVID, that culture is starting to change. That behavior is starting to change. Maybe because of that consciousness. As a designer, it seems like you're very conscious about the human experience. Talk about the process of actually thinking about or empathizing with the human experience and then designing an experience or a process around it.
Mhm. From where I stand, since I'm into both the creative and the technology industry, the mindset of people, uh, for example, in the video production or in the film industry in general, no, or in the events industry, they have this need to earn, they have this need to work, and they are also they are shrouded with a lot of fear, because everyone will go home afterwards and be exposed to their old folks, their kids. Some of them have babies, and you have to you obviously have to rethink everything. You have to rethink in such a way na, okay, how am I going to pull this off and satisfy our client, and at the same time protect each one of us, and at the same time be effective, because that's a very big challenge. There's a lot of challenge when it comes to keeping a social distance, between the talent and the director and all the crew. And at the same time, what technology allows us also, is bring us closer through, like, for example, here in the Zoom meeting. No, I had experience with this talent that he really need to shoot him, but he will really not allow anyone to go in their house. Okay. So what I told him is, what if you just set up the camera there, or you set up the camera, we'll send all the equipment, you set it up, we'll give full instructions, complete instructions, you set it up, how to light yourself, how to position the audio,
Mhm.
etc. And then just record yourself, send us the video. Nung narinig niya, okay, wow, I like that concept because it will protect me, it will protect my family. At the same time, we can execute this project. Because if not, wala, hindi matutuloy, di ba?
Wala mangyayari.
Yeah, walang mangyayari. And nakikita ko iba't iba yung fear ng tao eh. Some people that I met, they're not really actually fearing COVID. They're feeling a lot of things. Of course, financial, malaking bagay ano, financial. And some of them, the disruption that this pandemic brought to them is really beyond just the health and the financial. It's really psychological. Nakita ko the behavior change. The behavior change. So likewise for the customers, nag-change din yung behavior nila into how am I going to execute this? Especially customers that where they feel they are accountable if someone gets sick, diba? If someone gets COVID. So a lot of my clients are from the health industry. So very particular sila na they do a project, may magkasakit na isa, whether supplier or client or customer,
Mhm.
they feel accountable and they don't want that to happen. So, yun yung mga mindset na we really need to be aware of, be mindful, and and overcome. And honestly, it's not easy. It's not easy.
Oh, of course not. Everybody wants to now transition to like that quote unquote new normal,
Yeah, yeah.
right? But what does that mean to people? That new normal.
Mm-hmm.
To me, like a new normal is still something that's a bit amorphous. You know why?
Mm-hmm.
Because our reality is based on our belief.
That's true.
What we believe determines our reality. Now, it's not like, it's nothing, really spontaneous, but if I started with a belief in something, that belief in something will guide my actions.
It's true.
And actions, looking at it as a process. Ikaw, teki ka eh, di ba? Di ba meron tayong tinatawag na input, process, output.
Yeah.
The world just didn't like come up just like that. There has to be like a process involved.
Mm-hmm.
Lahat ng linikha dito sa mundong ito ay linikha na muna saan?
Mm-hmm.
Sa ating katang-isip.
Yeah.
So now we're moving into like this new normal, but it always starts with belief. I believe na dapat ganito magiging new normal natin. We're still going to, we're still going to work within, what our confines are. But the thing is, what's going to be like what's going to be my key message, what's going to be my delivery. And so, ang nangyayari doon, may belief, tapos meron tayong process, meron tayong action, tapos yun ang nagiging reality natin.
Mm.
So I think, during this time of a pandemic or a crisis, we should already start framing our minds. And there's design involved when it comes to that.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
We lived in a designed world where everything is at a very fine balance.
Mm-hmm.
Meron nga sila sinasabi na yung, eto medyo contentious to, so pwede mong i-edit to later on, There's this, the theory called the fine-tuning argument. The cosmic fine-tuning argument.
Uh-huh.
You need to say, if this universe wasn't created by an intelligent mind, the probabilities of life on Earth is probably even less than zero. So you have to think, when you're talking about intelligence and design, but we say, we're always thinking, pag design, nasa creative siya. That's not necessarily so,
Yeah, that's true.
It's not necessarily so. It's about, it's about designing an experience. It's designing a life story. So I think it's very important, that it's, the genius, and I believe, I believe this, I'm not trying to flatter you on anything. The genius is actually taking these, sort of like disparate elements. You need to say you have creativity, you have filmmaking, and then you have technology and putting it together. You said, it's about redesigning the wheel.
Yeah.
Or reinventing the wheel. But not so. You know who the genius is?
Mm-hmm.
The man who invented the wheelbarrow. You could invent the wheel and then what?
Right. Yeah. You can't use.
But if you take a wheel and then you put it, you put a cart behind it, what do you have?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's innovation. That's the power of innovation. I think that's where you're at in terms of being a creative technologist. Kasi dati hindi masyadong nag-uusap yan